What is going on, y'all? It is your girl Biola Akani here with a new YouTube video. Welcome back, y'all. I hope you are doing the practices that are allowing you to feel good in your body. I am back with episode 5 of our 8 Limbs of Yoga series. So far, I have done our initial video, which went over all of the 8 limbs in episode 1. Episode 2, I talked about the yamas and the niyamas. Episode 3, I covered asana, the limb of asana, and for the purpose of the yoga poses that we know today. In the 4th video, I covered the 4th limb known as pranayama, and today we are getting into the 5th limb of yoga known as Pratyahara. If you have not watched any of those previous videos within the series, be sure to watch those so that you're caught up on what all of the 8 limbs are, starting with the previous 4 limbs that we covered, so that you're following them and learning about them in the order that they're meant to be practiced. I'm excited to get right into it. But before we do that, if you have not subscribed, make sure to click that link to subscribe to learn everything you need to know about non-performative yoga or the practice of yoga beyond just the physical postures, and exploring asana from a more intuitive place, not only for you as yoga practitioners and students, but also for fellow yoga instructors and educators. So let's go ahead and get into the 5th limb. Today we're going to be exploring the 5th limb of yoga, also known as Pratyahara, and that basically means withdrawal of the senses or sensory withdrawal. And we practice this to become more clear of our inner world, and specifically to heighten our inner awareness so that our identity is tied to pure consciousness, in a nutshell. So you may remember when we talked about the yamas and the niyamas, one of the terms under the niyamas was savadhyaya, or self-study. Self-study precedes or comes before Pratyahara because we start to first study the mind and study the body to become more aware or to build a relationship with our physical and invisible form so that we can understand what's happening to it. Because most of the time we're walking in a lot of unawareness as to what we're feeling in our physical body and what we're experiencing in our mental body and mind. So studying or doing self-study helps us to explore the sensations that we are feeling. Now, when we move to Pratyahara, we want to begin to withdraw from the senses. Once again, self-study is to become aware of what we're feeling, so become aware of the sensory body. When we get to Pratyahara, we want to withdraw the senses. So we want to withdraw from identifying specifically with our senses. Once we get here, we want to begin to identify with our pure consciousness. And what I mean by that is when we identify with the senses, we start to identify with the external factors that cause those sensory responses to come. So when we're feeling depressed or anxious or angry or resentful, these are sensory responses that are triggered by external stimuli. And yes, we want to study physical body and mind to become aware that I am feeling this right now, to almost validate ourselves. And once we start to explore Pratyahara, we want to withdraw from identifying with that thing or saying that I am this depression or I am this anxiety, because I am not. I am not the sensory response or the sensation that I am feeling. I am experiencing this sensation in my physical, mental, or emotional body, but I am not that sensation. Sensory withdrawal or Pratyahara is piercing even deeper into that invisible veil of the subtle emotional and mental body, the part of our body that we can't see, to pierce into and begin to identify or come to a place of remembrance, rather, of our true consciousness of who we are before all the things and traumas and triggers and experiences came and shaped us. We want to get back to our true consciousness. That's been so essential for me because for so long, I identified as my depression, I identified as my trauma, I identified as a victim, I identified as so many of the sensations that I was experiencing, and as a result, I kept rehearsing narratives that created those cycles of suffering relative to those narratives. What my practice has brought me to now is first validating the sensations that I have. So embodying Savityaya to study that, and embodying and exercising Pratyahara to withdraw my identity to that sensation so that I can experience myself from a more clear state. The other end of this is that we first have to validate the sensations that we are having in order to get to this position. I don't want to align with a lot of those teachings out there that almost embody spiritual bypassing, where you're just basically putting a bright yellow sticky note affirmation on a sensation instead of validating that you're feeling it. It's just going to keep coming back. Because at the end of the day, those sensations need to be validated. The inner child in you wants to be validated so that it can mature and be with you where you are. But we need to validate the sensations that we're feeling, discern the origin of where they came from so that we can release those people, so that we can get to a place of non-identification to the sensation or sensation withdrawal, knowing that I am so much more than the sensation that I'm feeling. And not even more as in bigger. I am, period. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this definition of Pratyahara. And that's mainly because I'm sharing the 8 limbs from my own self-study, from my own embodiment of these limbs, in addition to their origins and their roots. My lived experience is woven into it, so I invite you to take what resonates, leave what does not. In the meantime, I want to make sure to invite you to a very special series that we're doing. We are doing a monthly virtual yoga series on Iya, my non-performative yoga platform, starting April 8th, called Community Care. It's where you can come practice non-performative yoga with us early on a Saturday morning and embodying the practices that are allowing you to reflect and feel good in your vessel. Our very first virtual class is going to be April 8th. That's a Saturday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I invite you to join me by clicking the link below. And I just released my chakra yoga and meditation series in partnership with Every Nigga Deserves, or END, with the END Wellness channel a few weeks ago. So definitely subscribe to their channel to practice those chakra yoga and meditation series with me. They are so good, y'all. I'll see y'all very soon. Continue to be well, and don't forget to follow your girl on the gram at Yoga by Biola and at iya.well.